They're just not going to answer the door.
No, they've probably seen us, to be honest. And in the back office.
Yeah, Mrs Ballin is here.
She's there.
Yeah, she's noticed me.
Oh.
So let's see if she opens the door. She's choosing to ignore me.
Yeah, looks like it.
She's just pretending not to see me.
Eh?
She's just pretending not to see me.
Are they? They're pretending not to see us.
Mrs Ballin? Mrs Ballin? Mrs Ballin, can you hear me? Come and film this for me. Mrs Ballin? Hello? Mrs Ballin?
They're just blatantly ignoring it.
Yeah, you can see it through there.
Can't actually see through
Mrs Ballin?
Uh,
Could we have a word, please?
yeah, well, you can see his reflection.
She's actually ignoring us, I can't believe this. Could we have a word, please? Mrs Ballin, we're not going to go away. Can we have a word, please? Mrs Ballin, please? We're being very reasonable, Mrs Ballin. Could you please come and speak to us? Well, what do? We're just being completely ignored. It doesn't matter what we do, whether we send letters, whether we make phone calls, whether we actually arrive to the Bracknell Conservative Association office directly. Mrs Ballin is now choosing to ignore us. Let's just see how long this goes on for, shall we? This could make like good YouTubery. Mrs Ballin, please. We're asking you to be reasonable. Would you please come and talk to us? Unbelievable. Complete ignorance. Come and film this. Film this. Yeah. Let's film right through the window. Let's film right at her. And I'll ask her again. Mrs Ballin, we're filming you ignoring us. Could you please come and talk to us, please?
Where's the other one gone?
Mrs Ballin, you're making yourself look very foolish. Mrs Ballin, this is a democracy, and I'd like to speak to you, please. Well, this looks like democracy is finally dying its death.
Yeah.
The people elected to represent us no longer wish to respond to us. We've been very reasonable, we've been very fair, we've been very amicable, we haven't been aggressive or obtuse. We've written some legitimate questions and we'd like Mr Mackay to answer them, and yet they will not respond to us. No matter what we do, we cannot get a response from the local Conservative Association. I think we just need to keep trying.
Yeah.
Mrs Ballin, would you please speak to us? Mrs Ballin, you're only making things worse for yourselves. Would you please come and speak to us? Unbelievable. Tell you what, let's pop round to the back window, see if we can get a bit closer. Mrs Ballin, would you please come and speak to us? Mrs Ballin, would you please come and speak to us?
She'd be very ignorant. The other one's gone home.
Mrs Ballin, would you please speak to us? Mrs Ballin? Oh look, and they're shutting the window at the front now so they can't be here. That's great. So they're pretty much locking us out. It doesn't matter what attempt we make and how reasonable we are, they will not speak to us. This is quite remarkable. now standing by the photocopier, as you can see, and Tuesday they've chosen to close the window so that they can no longer hear us. Or I'm sure they probably can still hear us, they're just choosing to ignore us. Mrs Ballin, would you please come and speak to us?
They're turning things off, so they're coming out soon anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might as well just go and wait for them.
Okay, well, they've forced us into a position here. We would like to talk to them reasonably and fairly, but it seems that they're just blanking us and ignoring us, and it doesn't matter what we do, they're not going to respond. So inevitably, we're going to have to accost Mrs Ballin as she leaves the Conservative office and heads for a car which is right outside. It's unfortunate that we have to do this. Really, we'd like a democracy where people who are elected are answerable to the electorate. However, if this is what we're forced to do, then that's what we must do. So we'll stop this video right now, and we'll resume once we see Mrs Ballin leaving. Okay, so here we are, we're still outside the Conservative office. We've been here now for 40 minutes and still no response from Mrs Ballin. I've just tried ringing her and she hung the phone up straight away, so let's try ringing her again and see what happens.
She probably won't answer it this time.
Mrs Ballin, would you please come and speak to us? Has she just hung up again? She just hung up again? It's quite unbelievable. Let's ring her again. Let's keep ringing her. Mrs Ballin, please be reasonable. I'm sorry, we're in a democracy, Mrs Ballin. I'd like you to answer some questions about the letter you sent me. I certainly don't want that, Mary. That's the last thing I'd want, but I would like you to come and answer our questions, please. She's asking us formally to leave. I'd like it.
She's not.
Oh no, she's hung up again?
It's not her property.
No, she's asking us formally to leave from a public place. I'm not sure what she's on. She said she's feeling intimidated. I certainly have done nothing to intimidate or upset her. I certainly don't want her to feel that way. I just want her to answer some questions. We live in a democracy here. Let's try one more time. Mrs Ballin, you can't ignore us all night. I'd like you to do that, please. She's just threatened me with the police. She said if I continue to harass her, she's going to call the police, and I've asked her to call the police. I can see, though, that she's not actually doing that. I suppose I don't want to harass her too much on the phone, so we'll give it 5 minutes, see if she makes any difference, if she decides to come out or answer our questions. But if she continues to ignore us, then I have no alternative. I have to keep calling her. I wish I didn't. I wish she would be reasonable and come out and talk to us, but she's just stonewalling us, like she has been for the last month. And it's a shame, because it shows the Conservatives are the undemocratic party. Let's give her another call, shall we? Oh, and now she doesn't even answer the phone, she just hangs up straight away. This is ridiculous.
Which we sort of do anyway. You could see her put it. You could see her actually hang up, so.
Unbelievable. Quite remarkable. Well, I'm not sure there's much else we can do. We're just going to have to hang fire until she leaves the office. She's refusing to speak to us. She tells us she's feeling harassed, which certainly isn't the case. All I wanted to do was answer some questions, and she's refusing to do it. Which is a shame.